All right, so guys, we're gonna start working on this worksheet for the next part of the video. I'm gonna turn this aside and actually show you on the camera. Let's start again with the top. I think I already went over most of this with you. So again, we have the on and off switch right here, right? We have the mode dial right here, which is different than the one on the sheet, but it does the same thing. And we have the info button and the exposure compensation button, which I will talk about later. So let's move on. Flip this over and show you on the back of the camera. And let me pull this up a little. There we go. So you can see a little better what is going on there. So on this side of the camera right here, we have the playback dial. So I'll turn the camera on and show you what everything looks like. So currently, when you want to look at an image, and I'm sure the images I shot look terrible because I didn't really focus, but if I press this button, oh, there's my hand. My hand shows up. And what you can do is when your image is in there, you can use the control dial that's in the back of the camera. Let me pull this up again some more. There we go. And use the control dial in the back of the camera, and if you toggle through using these two buttons here and here, you can move through and look at the different images, and it gives me all kinds of information. And if you press the up and down button, what it does is it keeps it at the same image, but if I toggle up and down, there's the image again, but now it's telling me what my shutter speed is, my aperture is, what my ISO is, whatever that is. I haven't even talked about that yet. What the white balance is, didn't discuss that. The image name, oh, press info again. So it's all there. It gives you a lot of information specifically about the image, and even something called a histogram, which talks about exposure. And if I toggle through again, if I want to get rid of all that stuff, I can just press the up or down button until I get to the setting that I want. So if you don't want all that distracting information, you can do that. But if I ask you, for example, hey, what shutter speed did you use? You can just click on that and there it is. So it's pretty easy. And also it even tells me what my lens length is. That's pretty cool. Moving right along, this is the menu dial, which brings you to this area, which allows you to change up settings. So something I always tell students, if you move this up and down, well, first of all, if I press the left button over here, this lets me mess with things that are on the main menu section right here. So this is a shooting menu, for example, setup menu, like here's the playback menu, recent settings, like all that different stuff. So for example, if I go to the playback menu, I can delete images there, among other places. Here I can change my picture control, and I'll probably create a video specifically on that itself, just so you know how to do that. But just so you know, that's what the menu setting is for. So if I go back to the image for a second in the playback mode, and I press this, if I press it once, you can see I can see images. If I press it twice, I can see many, many images. So if I had like 100 images and I wanted to scroll through and look at them all quickly, I can get a thumbnail by doing that. See how I can go down the rabbit hole. I can even go to a specific calendar date. That's pretty cool. And if I press OK, I'm back to that image again. So that's kind of nice to know about. And if I press the plus key over here, that's the magnifying key. So I can actually zoom in, like, was that part of the image in focus? I can zoom in and see, and I'm using this dial over here to toggle around. So that's kind of a nice thing. And I press OK and I'm back to where I was. And info brings me back to the main screen. Let's say that I have an image and I want to delete it. Like that one I'm not crazy about for some reason. So I press that the garbage can while this is up, and this comes up and it's going to ask, do you want to delete? And if I press the garbage can again, yes. Okay, and it's gone. So yeah, so I've talked about most of this. The other thing that to be aware of right now, and actually this one's not set correctly, so I'm glad that I brought this up, is on the camera on the side, this is your diopter, and this is for vision correction. If, like, let's say you were wearing a pair of glasses and you wanted your image to be in focus, you want the diopter to be set at a certain thing. Let's just assume everybody has 20/20 vision with their glasses on, because we're all sharing the camera. So what you're going to want to do, and again, this is in the way, is set it so that the positive and minus are on both sides like that, and this line is straight up. That's really important. If you don't do that, all your images are going to be image corrected specifically for a person who has a certain prescription in your glasses, and what ends up happening is all your images will be out of focus, which is let's just say it's a problem. Another thing to show you, I don't like to do this because it wastes battery, but if I want to see, here, let me show you again. Click back there. If I want to see what's going on in my viewfinder in real time, I can do that. I generally don't like to use this just because, like I said, it wastes batteries. But I just wanted to show you that that's what that's for. So I just click it back and I'm done. So I just wanted to show you what a few things on the back of the camera do. This is a special thing for altering an autofocus setting, and I'll discuss that later. But if you don't want it to be center weighted, for example, you can change that. Although, quite frankly, in Photo One, everything we do is, for the most part, manual focus to begin with.